Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Xah Talk Show. Today is 2020, August 29th, 10 o'clock, 10:20 in morning, San Francisco time. So we had some technical problems with YouTube streaming because I was streaming two streams, and because the streaming keys they got confused because recently Google made a change. So anyway, I hope you guys are seeing me here, and we're gonna start over. So we are going to do it here. So are you guys here? Can you guys type something? Let me know I'm alive and well. So my audio seems to be doing okay, and my video is doing okay. So today we are going to do emacs lisp live coding, and here are the topics we're gonna do. Okay, fantastic. Finally, it's done. So good morning, guys. Bart, Informatic, Renato, and Juhani, and George, and FMS, Informatic. Good. So if you have Emacs questions, just type it in the chat. Okay, I'll get back to it, and I'll try to be condensed today. So we gonna go through what we're gonna do. So we're gonna do a live coding of Emacs Lisp, plus I'm gonna explain what to do. So I have a command called xah-html-escape-char-to-entity. For example, if you copied something from the web, you copied a giant huge chunk of text, let's say that, okay, and you want to put in your blog. So you open, you go to your blog page and you paste it. But however, some of the characters, such as that, and the ampersand, you need to escape. You need to say, for example, you need to change them to less than sign. You need to change them to that, and greater than, and for the ampersand, you need to write it like that. Otherwise, they won't show. Because, for example, let's say 3 greater than 1, 3 greater than 2, and let's say and AT and T. Okay, copy that, close that, don't save. Now I'm back on my talk show page, showing browser. Let's say I paste it here, make a paragraph. You see, now showing browser. Oh, actually that shows, but if you have something like that, you see, something to AT&T, then it does not show. It becomes to and AT&T. It's incorrect. So when you copy paste some huge chunk of text, it's tedious to manually change those entities. So I have a command that does that. For example, I press the key to call the command, and it becomes that. Now if I go to the browser, show in browser, you can see this is correct. So this command is fantastic, and this command is called that xah-html-escape-char-to-entity, which you can also see here. But however, I'm going to modify the command so that whenever it makes a change, it will highlight those changes red. So if I have a giant buffer, let's say I copied some mailing list messages from the web, and I put on my blog, I call this command. It'll show all the places that's changed. That's what we are going to do today. So let's go to the source code for this command. So what you do is you call the function describe function, and type the command name, enter. Then Emacs will show the documentation for this command, and you just press the tab key, go to the source file where that command is defined, and we are here. We are at the source code. So now we are at the source code. I want to make a copy, open a new buffer, make it larger, paste it here. Okay, smaller. So here is the code, and let's save this as a new file. Okay, xx_ file, the command name, and date.el. So I start my file with XX. That's my convention for temp file. So far so good. Type your questions, any questions, Emacs related, in the chat box. I'll get to it. So we are going to modify this command so that we'll add highlights. Okay. Okay, this is going to be a big task because I need to explain the code. So far so good. So far so good, everyone. You don't need to escape those symbols, but it's good practice to do so. Well, yeah, that's true, but you actually do. You do need to change them if you are working with XML or xhtml. Now in HTML5, HTML5 is a new version started 10 years ago. They relaxed the rule such that, so when do you need to escape them? Okay, so when do you need to escape those? Basically, the characters you need to escape are less than equals to sign, greater than equals to sign, and ampersand. And when in XML, you always have to escape them, always. Okay, that's XML or XHTML. But in HTML or HTML5, you don't have to anymore. The cases you don't have to is when, for example, let's say 3 is less than 5 and 5 is greater than 2. Let's say cases like this, you don't have to escape them. When they have space around those characters, then you don't need to escape them. This is valid HTML. Okay, you can go, there's a HTML validator, you can go and check it there, right? So is this a custom CMS or do you use something like a static site? No, I'm using plain. So what you are seeing is just plain HTML. It's not a content management system or anything like that. It's just manually written HTML file. That's basically that's how I work with my website. So anyway, let's go back to the command. Let's try to modify this command. Okay, so here is the command. Here's a command. So I'm thinking what to do now, because this command essentially is doing some find and replace. It's pretty simple. You want to find the ampersand character and replace it by that, and less than equal sign replaced by that, and greater than equal sign replaced by that, and you want to do that for the whole buffer. So what I'm thinking, what do we how do we, should I explain the whole thing, like what do I do next? We can actually we can just write this from scratch. Perhaps that's easier if we just write this from scratch. Hold on a second. So let me think a little bit about this. It's probably easier if we write from scratch and explain it. Shall we do that from scratch? Okay, so let's write this command from scratch. Should we do that? Yeah, let's write from scratch. Okay. Okay, let's try to do this fast. Okay, any Emacs questions, just type in the comment chat. Okay, I'll get to it. Okay, let's define a function. Let's magnify. Okay, define a function. Okay, define a function, and our function will be name of that, and the documentation string, the doc string here will be something like that. Replace html characters to entity. Okay, print the message to buffer occurrence if any with position. Okay, so first of all, we decide, we are writing a spec. Basically, when we are writing an inline doc, that's my habit. This is the designing stage of the command. What exactly do I want the command to do? So I wanted to, once you done the find and replace, you want to print the message to the message buffer, and you also want to and highlight changed parts in buffer. Okay, that's what I want to do. And also this command, replace HTML characters to HTML entities on current line. I don't want it current line. I want to current text block. Okay, then if universal argument is called first, then the replacement direction is reversed. Okay, let's do that. This part we don't want, we don't care. This part we don't care. Okay, so put a date. So that's our documentation, and let's begin to do it. Okay, so first of all, the first thing we need to do is to find the position we actually want. Let's open a new buffer. Let's go to the talk show, today's talk show. We want to find a position, the region, beginning position and end position, where we want to do the work. So how do we do that? So first of all, we can say region beginning. So position 1, okay, position 1, position 2, set position 1 equals to region beginning, set position 2 equals to region end. So that's beginning and end positions. Now we got a position. Now we want to do find and replace of within that region. So what we do is find and replace in that region. So first of all, we narrow to region. Now if you guys don't know narrow to region, it's a command. It's a very useful command. For example, if you have a big file, you can select a region, then you call the command narrow to region. Then Emacs will pretend that whatever before or whatever after doesn't exist. So your whole file becomes, that region you are interested. I mean, even if you go to the top of the buffer or bottom of the buffer, it's still within that region. Emacs pretends the whole file is just that region. So that's narrow to region. You can meta X and call that. Quite useful. I use it, several times a week. Now, once you want to get out of the narrow to region, you call the command widen. Okay, so you can see. What? You can see I call the command here. Widen. Okay, meta X widen. That exits the narrow to region. So narrow to region is very useful. So anyway, I select. So I want to call narrow to region in Emacs Lisp here. Narrow to region, region 1, position 1, position 2, so that we focus on this region, so that our find and replace does not spill out to outside. But once you call narrow to region, you also have to say save restriction. Okay, save restriction. So what that does is, whatever your code is done, when your command is done, Emacs will revert to whatever the region user have. Okay, so that's that. And now we narrow to region, and now we go to the beginning of buffer. Okay, go to char buffer minimum, point minimum. This moves closer to the beginning of the buffer. Okay, now our cursor is at the beginning of buffer. We want to find and replace. So let's do find and replace. So what we do is search forward for the greater than equals to sign, bound nil, no arrow, true, and count nothing. Okay, so search forward. When it's found, replace match. Am I making sense? Is it so good? Get on the dark web. California Republic. Question: I saw you are having couple keyboards around. Which one do you use the most? Got myself Kinesis Advantage 2 a couple of months ago. Well, yeah, that's Kinesis Advantage 2. That's what I use the most. You know, almost every one of my live stream I talked about that. You know, if you go to my website, XahTV Kinesis Advantage 2, just search for that. You will also see a video review of that. So anyway, replace match. So go to forward. So replace match. We want to replace. I'm going to start to do this quick. Too much explanations. Because we have a lot to do. So replace match. We want to replace by this is greater than sign. Okay, and optional we don't care. So that's what we want to do. So this part, and also now we just change for the less than sign, and another one for the ampersand sign. Okay, so that's it. However, so you we narrow to region, then we go to the beginning of buffer, then we do we search for greater than equals to sign, then replace it. So but however, this only replace one occurrence. You see, that's the thing. But what we want to do is replace all occurrences. So what we do is we add a while statement. Okay, we just do a while statement. So while search, if it's found, replace. Okay, that's what you do. So this, okay, so similarly we need to add a while for the rest of the code, the rest of the thing here. And one more for okay, does that make sense? Now we have 1, 2, 3. That's what, yeah, that's what we want. 1, 2, 3. So this will make find replace. Basically that's it for the command, but actually we have a lot to do. So eval the buffer, shrink a bit. Let's look at the whole code. Actually let's remove those comments so it's more compact. Okay, that's our whole code. And eval the buffer, and let's go back to a HTML page, and let's select this region and call the command. Okay, so what's the command name? The command name is xah-html-escape-char-to-entity. Do it. It looks like it's working. Show in browser. No, wait. What's going on? Oh, I see what's going on. You see, so here comes a very tricky part. This is related to find and replace algorithm. Very tricky. Do you guys know what's going on? This, because when I was doing this kind of command like 10 years ago, I got into this problem. So basically what's happening is that, you see, so you have, so first of all, our program tries to replace the less than equals to sign. Okay, so let's look at our code. So our code goes to the beginning of buffer, then tries to replace greater than equals to sign. Then we, for the whole buffer, then we do the less than equals to less than sign for the whole thing. Then the ampersand. So for example, it will change this to that. Hold on. It will change this part to, first of all, this will be greater than equal. This will become that. Then it'll do this part. Then it becomes what's the character? Less than equal. Then less than. Okay, so it'll do that, less than sign. Then it will do the ampersand. So it's going to move to the beginning of buffer, beginning of the region. Then it will replace all ampersand characters, that one and that one and that one, by the ampersand. So it's going to become like that. You see, so we can try it. So if we call it, you see, it becomes like that, and that's no good because it's doing extra replacements. That's a problem. So what is the solution to this? So the solution is actually you have to do the replacement twice. The first round is that you replace what you want to find by some random number. Okay, so you replace parts of a text to some random number. Then you replace those random number to the destination characters you want to, the final replace string. So that's a bit tricky. So let's do it again. Okay, so for example, so in order to do that, let's see. We have to think. Hold on a second. So now all we have to do is just replace the ampersand first. Replace the ampersand first. Okay, eval buffer, go back to our page, undo. Now select it, do it. That's correct. Yes, that's correct. Go to browser, show in browser. We have it here. That's correct. Let's try on this part. Okay, so you have to select it, call it, do it. Wait, undo, copy it. Copy it, paste it here, and do that. So why is the greater than sign not replaced? Let's go back to our code. Oh yeah, because we misplaced the go to the char to the beginning of a buffer. Okay, eval it again, eval the buffer, go back to our buffer, undo. Let's do it. Fantastic, it's working. Oops, where is it? Yeah, show in browser. Yeah, so it's working. So far so good. Let's see. So far so good. We have quite a lot of things to do. So okay, so now I've been talking for 25 minutes. Let's keep going. Okay, so now let's improve our code. There are quite a few things to improve because right now we have to select region first. It's kind of annoying. It would be nice we don't have to, user doesn't have to select, because when you call the command it will automatically work on the paragraph. So that's what we want to do. So all we have to do is we want to modify this part. Okay, let's modify the position, the region position. So what we say, if use region P. Okay, so what that means, if there is already a region, I mean if user selected a region, that means they have this specific region in mind. They want this command to work on, then work on the region. But if there is no region, just work on the line the cursor is at. Okay, so if there's a region, then we do this. Okay, now these two code can be combined into one, like that. Okay, there. So if there's a region, set position to region beginning and region end. Otherwise we say position 1 will become line beginning position. Okay, position 2 will be line end position. Okay, that's it. Okay, we can actually clean up the code. We don't need that part. Okay, like that. Select, eval the buffer, go back to the code. And let's undo this, undo. Let's get back our code. Okay, so we have these two examples. Okay, so let's put the cursor here, call the command, do it. Fantastic. Now this is when we don't have a region selected, but however, user, I'm a user, I select these two lines, call the command, then now it works on the region. Fantastic. Go back to the code. Now we have something more to improve, because right now it automatically works on the current line, but usually that's not what there's an improvement. A better way is to work on the current paragraph, like paragraph was defined by separated by empty lines. Okay, so let's improve on that. So if there's a region, work on the region. If there's no region, we want to work on the current paragraph. Okay, now there is no built-in way to do that. I don't like this code. Okay, set position 1. Okay, so how do you code this? So if there's a region, do that. If there's no region, what we want to do is set position 1, P1 and P2 to the beginning and end of a paragraph. So what we do is we search backward for double lines and bound, nil, no arrow, true, no arrow, true. Okay, okay, we search backward. Now if I code something I didn't explain, you just look up the documentation, describe function. Okay, you just call describe function and you can read the detail about what parameters I'm using. I'm not going to explain it. So anyway, so we search backward for two empty lines. Then we move character to the right 2 times to go back to the beginning of the paragraph. Okay, then we set position 1 point. Okay, that's how you set the position. Okay, prettify the code. Then now we search forward 2 empty lines, optional, bound, nil, no arrow, true. Okay, then we backward char to move backward 2 positions so that the cursor will end at the end of the paragraph before the new lines. Okay, then set point, position 2, point. Okay, prettify the code, prettify. That's it. So So what happens here? So this code, if there's a region, then P1 and P2 is a region beginning and end. Otherwise, you move around the cursor to find the beginning and end of the paragraph. Okay? Eval the buffer, go back to the HTML code. So now we're gonna code the code. When we code the code, it should work on both of these lines. So we code the code, do it, fantastic, successful. Now let's go back to the code. There's more things we need to do. Remember, we want all the changed places highlighted. For example, I can select these three parts. Okay. Let's do it again. Okay, I select these three parts and call the command. Do it. There's lots of changes. I want the command to highlight all the places that it changed. Okay, undo, go back to the code. So let's do that. You want to highlight the changed code. Okay, so what you do is first of all you do the ampersand. So you change the ampersand here, replace match. And how do you make it red? So to make it red, we talked about a few days ago. If you watch my live stream, Xah live stream, Xah talk show, the past 5 or 6 episodes, they are all about Emacs Lisp coding. So in fact, we covered this before. And right now, let's go to my Emacs Lisp tutorial. Okay, so go to my, you can search it, search for Xah Emacs Lisp, you'll find it. And you go to write the major mod, then you go down, then you go to overlay highlighting. So this is how you make it, how you color text. So this is the code we want. So now back to our code. The command we want to call is this command, overlay put. It will take 3 arguments. One of the arguments will need positions, beginning and end positions. So we need to find the beginning and end positions of the replacement we just did. So how do you do that? Replace match. You see, once it replaced this ampersand character here to this ampersand AMP semicolon, now we want to know the beginning position and end position of this word, ampersand AMP semicolon. How? Okay, I don't know how offhand, but we can, of course, we can find out. So once we do the replace match, the cursor position will be at the end of the replaced text. I'm pretty sure. So the end position we want will be point. Okay, point returns the current position of the cursor. And the beginning position is simply the point minus, I got typo. So the beginning position will just be the point, the current position minus how many characters are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters. By the way, you can count characters in Emacs Lisp by calling the command count words. Okay, so you can see in a mini buffer it says 5 characters. So here you say 5. So that's the current position minus 5. So that's the beginning. Okay, then you want to say I don't want to say bold. Can we say red? I'm not sure. Let's just try that. Okay, let's just try that. Eval buffer. Go back to HTML. Select this. We don't have to select. Let's just put the cursor here. Call it. Do it. Oh wait. Call the command xah-html-escape-char-to-entity. Do it. No, the highlight is not successful. Undo. Okay. So it's not successful because this red is not supported. Let's try bold. Bold will work, I'm pretty sure. Call it again. Do it. No, it doesn't work. I don't know why. Okay, so let's do this. What is it? Eval buffer. Okay, did we eval buffer? Eval buffer. Let's do it again. Call it. It's not bold. It didn't work. Why? So far so good. What is your primary programming language? I've been programming Java. I've been programming emacs, Lisp, Mathematica since 1992. Then Perl starting in 1998. Then Python starting in 2004 or 2005. Then JavaScript starting in 2009. And Clojure and Golang. Oh, okay, so that's a good. Iris says you don't have ampersand in the code. Oh, that you are right. Thank you for that. Thank you so much. I love feedbacks. Being an idiot. So okay, let's try it here. Do it. Yay! Fantastic. Now they are bold. Okay, so let's go back to the code. Let's try if it red works. Eval the buffer. Go back to that. Now we wait. We close the buffer. Reopen it so that all the highlights are removed. You know, the easiest way to remove highlight is just close it and reopen it. So now we do it again. Okay, so the red doesn't work. So back to the here, so the red doesn't work. So what to do if you wanted red? Okay, it's easy. You go to here, I don't remember, but you can go to the text properties here. I did a talk show on text properties 5 days ago or so. So anyway, the code you want is here. Okay, copy it. Let's paste it here. The code we want is actually this part. Okay, foreground red. Okay, copy that. Paste it here, and also let's use font lock face instead of face. Okay. Okay, so now it's actually let's make it. Let's put it here. So prettify the code. So this part will make it red. Okay. Eval the buffer. Go back to the code. Let's call it. Do it. Fantastic. Love it. Undo. Let's select a whole bunch of things. Do it. Call it. And remove the selection. Okay, that's fantastic. You see, there's no ampersand in here. So that's why you don't see nothing. So let's undo, close, open again, magnify, go back to our code. So we want to do the same thing over for the greater than sign over here, except that this time there are only 4 characters, not 5. Okay, copy that code. We also want to do it for the less than sign. Okay, prettify the code. Prettify the code. Let's see. Okay, Let's prettify the code. Let's shrink them. Eval buffer, that should work. Eval buffer. Now go back to the HTML here. Let's call it, do it. Fantastic. Now you see this is very useful because when you have huge chunk of text, you call it. Now you see, now all the changed places are highlighted. So this is this is fantastic. So we've done what we set out to do today. So now we can chat something random. So Jack Davison, why do you use Mac? Well, that topic we talked about several times, like at least twice on my live stream. I'm using a Mac right now because I got a Mac free, okay, in 2017. You know, basically what you want to ask, your question is which one should you use, Mac or Linux or Windows? There is a XahTV talk show on that topic. We talked 30 minutes about that. Just search, just go to YouTube, search for it, you'll find it. So anyway, this code works. Now let's see, are there any final touch-up we need to do? So yeah, this is actually production code. I'm glad I rewrote it from scratch. Let's see if there's anything. Oh, there's more things with more features we need to add. So you see, sometimes we change the entities to the ampersand, but sometimes we want to change it back. It's not easy to change it back. You see, once you don't have undo, well, if you have undo, that's great. But once you made a change and save the file, close it, reopen the file. So now you have that. Now how do you change it back? It's not easy. So you have to, write a command. So we can make our command to do that. Okay, yeah, let's do that. We can make our command to reverse the direction. So far so good. I would never recommend Windows to anyone. Oh yeah. Thomas Herman says you might be in the wrong branch. Try to put the overlay into the next if. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we probably fixed that error. Okay, anything else? Yeah, so Iris, that's a great suggestion. So let's use universal argument. Okay, so let me tell you, those of you don't know what that is. So in Emacs, there is this thing called universal arguments. That is, in Emacs we have functions. We have many commands that are useful. But sometimes you want a kind of a variation of a command. For example, in diode, for example, I go to the directory. And I want to. So here's my directory, and I want to hide those permissions. So here's my directory. So let's say I want to copy. Let's shrink. Let's say I want to copy the file name of this file name. And I can, in diode, you can press W. That will copy the file name. So split buffer, new buffer, paste it. You see, now I got the file name. But what if you want the full path? You can do that too. So what you do is you press Control U, then whatever key for that command. Okay, not Control U. Okay, so let me do it again. So you press W to get the file name. Okay, so but what is the command corresponding to the shortcut? You can find out by you call describe key, then W, then it'll show you here. So the command you are actually calling, wait, wrong. So let's do it again. Okay, let's do it again. Control HK for describe key, then type the key W, then you have it here. So it says W runs the command diet copy file name as kill, and here's the documentation. So it tells you copy name of marked files into the kill ring and blah blah blah. So you see now it says with a 0 prefix argument, use the absolute file name of each marked file. You see? So now, so what that means? So what does it mean? 0 prefix arg. That means you want to call the universal command. So let me just show you. Okay. So I want to copy the full path of these of some marked files. So let's say one more. Okay. So I press Control U, then 0, then W. That's it. And now I split the buffer, new buffer, paste it, magnify. You can see there are two full file paths. You see, 1 and 2. So that prefix argument thing, that Control U is called universal argument. So what's the purpose of that? The purpose is to allow commands to have variation of behaviors. Basically, you are giving a different parameters to the command interactively. Okay. So that's an explanation of the universal argument. And in fact, close this. We are going to code it. So we are going to say in our documentation, we are going to say yeah, we already said it here. If universal argument is called first, the replacement direction is reversed. That's right. So how do we code it? Well, we can code it here, or we can look at our tutorial. So let's see. We have a lot to code actually. So any comments, questions? You should factor out the repetition. So if universal argument is called, okay, I don't remember how do you do that, but let's go to my emacs lisp tutorial. That's what I do. I write the tutorial for myself. Go to the emacs lisp section, introduction to emacs lisp. Then there is a section on get universal argument. So this page tells you all about it. You can read it later, but what I want to do, I just want to that's what I want here. Current prefix arg. So this variable current prefix arg contains the value of that Control U or whatever user pressed. So this is the argument. So we want to say if current prefix arg, what's the value? So current prefix arg, it's a bit complicated. Okay, so I'm not going to explain, but you can read it on my page. What I want to say, so if current prefix arg, so if Control U is pressed, then reverse direction. So we need another parameter, reverse direction. Okay. So if current prefix arg, so set reverse direction to nil by default. When current prefix arg is true, then set reverse direction to true. Okay, so right, so okay, so but how do you get the reverse direction? First of all, we need to, actually there's a lot to do. We need to okay, so there's actually a lot to code and a lot to expand. How do we code this? Because you see, we also have the highlighting going on. You know, the easiest way is just copy this entire code and repeat it. That would be the easiest way. Let's do that first, okay? Let's do that. Okay, so let's just do that. Okay. So if reverse direction is true, then do something here. Otherwise, do this, okay? But if it's true, we do this, okay? Yeah. This is the tried and true method. You know, this is the simplest web method, but it works. This is the most plain, no fancy stuff method. So if reverse direction is true, we want, you know, we just want a different, we just do like that, okay? Let me just simply quickly code it here. Wait, what did I do? Then here is 1, then that, this is greater than, oh, this is less than 1. That's it. That's our code. That will work. Okay, I'm pretty sure that will work. Let's compact our code again. Now it's getting big. We cannot see the whole thing in one screen. Now it's one screen. Eval the buffer. Are we sure? I'm pretty sure it'll work. But let's double check before, you know, otherwise we'll run into some errors. Reverse direction. So if current prefix arg, then reverse direction is true. Okay, wait, hold on a second. Close, save, reopen, magnify. You need it to be a bit bigger. Magnify a little bit. So reverse direction, by convention, a variable name that ends in -p means it returns true or false. Usually, I mean, that's the convention of Lisp. Okay, so if reverse direction is true, then you do this. Otherwise, yeah, that should work. Run eval buffer. Okay, now let's call it. Let's try it. Call it. Do it. Yeah, that's correct. We forgot to press the Control U. Okay, undo. You know, there are some other issues we want to, if we prefer. Okay, let me answer the question. Okay, before we answer, let's try the code. Okay, close the buffer, reopen it, magnify. Okay, we're gonna try on this section of code. Remember, we want to change it back to the characters. So press Control U first, then Meta X, then HTML-escape-char-to-entity. Do it. Fantastic. Our code is working. Now, you know, now we know it's working. Now we can try to elegantfy the code, you know, to make it less repetitious, you know, those kind of thing. You know, those kind of thing are kind of the hacker types. They are endeavored to do, but they are usually not practical. well, it's good to have, it's good to, I mean, this code right now is kind of too much repetition. Anyway, our code works. So what's the next thing we want to do? Well, let me answer the questions first, okay? Yeah, so that's a good suggestion. The to reduce our code, what we have to do is we want to extract the find and replace pairs. That we have a bunch of pairs of characters, find string and replace string. We have several pairs of them. We want to make them into a list, so that if the direction is changed, we swap the the pairs of list. Yeah, but that's a bit that'll take 5 minutes or 10 minutes of coding to do. But let me answer the next question. What the hell is nil? Okay, nil in Emacs Lisp just means essentially it means false. Okay, so there are two meanings of nil. Nil in Emacs Lisp just means it's an empty list. Empty list and nil, they are equivalent. They are completely equivalent in Emacs Lisp. But in Emacs Lisp, nil also means false. Okay, when you are in a eval situation, yeah, it's kind of like null in other programming languages. Okay, let's do this one last thing. Wait, how long have I been talking? I've been thinking maybe this is getting boring. 57 minutes. Let's do this. Okay, let's simplify the code. Okay. First of all, let's make a copy of the whole buffer. Okay, copy the whole buffer and go back to the HTML, and let's paste the code here. Let's paste the code here. Okay, and show in browser, and you can see the code here. And let's prettify it, syntax color it, and now refresh browser. That's our current code. Okay, now let's go back. Okay, let's go to the code. Okay, let's make the let's make the elegant version. Let's improve this. Okay, so we want to create a variable called find replace map. Okay, so here is our variable find replace map. That's and I'm going to show you what that is. Okay, set q element. Okay, and I'm going to use a vector. Okay, vector is going to, let me show you. There's this Emacs bug. You see how that column, the line of number, the line number display, they kind of like moving around. I'm not sure why that happens, but it does. So anyway, so I want to make a list of pairs. So this is going to be like that. Okay, let me show you. Okay, this will make the code much more easier to understand, kind of. Okay, so now less than equals to sign, now greater than equals to sign. Okay, prettify. Okay, that's what we want, basically. Prettify again. Yeah, so this is our find replace pairs. Okay, then let's go to our code. So this, then if region, that part selects the region. Okay, so let's add, let's add the breaks so it's easier to see. So if reverse direction is true, then do something. Okay, we do something. Okay, otherwise we do this thing here. So we're gonna replace this code. So what we're gonna do, so okay, let me show you. So while, okay, so that's our old code. I'm gonna duplicate the code here so you can see what we are doing. So while actually it's more than that. Now we need to go through our vector. We need to loop through our vector. Okay, so let's scratch the whole thing. We need to redo the whole thing. Scratch, 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 scratch. we yeah, let me scratch the whole thing. Let me show you what to do. Okay, we start from scratch. So here we say save restriction. Okay, then narrow to region. Okay, then p1 p2. Okay, then we start our code here. If reverse direction is true, if it's true, we do something here. Otherwise, we do something here. Okay, now first of all we want to do what we want to do, we want to loop through this find replace map. Okay, so how do you loop through? What you do is map C. Okay, map C. Okay, first argument is a function, the second argument is a sequence. Now the sequence is going to be find replace map. Okay, now the first argument is going to be a function. So let's do a function lambda, lambda. Okay, lambda x body. Now let's prettify the code. We need it. So lambda. So what the function? What will our function do? The function lambda will take no argument, and the body of the lambda will be while search forward, just like before. We are okay. While search forward, we can write this very fast. Okay. I'm just going to write fast without much talking. Okay. The set point min and point max according to the length of the item of the list. Yeah, that's right. I'm just going to code fast because too much talking. So it just anything I call okay. So anyway, I'm just going to code it. Lambda, actually the lambda needs one argument. The argument is the pair. Okay, so let's say x pair. Okay, so while search forward array x pair array x pair, okay, index 0. So this is going to be the find string. So search forward for that find string, found nil, no error, true. Okay, so search forward for that. If it's found, then just say replace match. Okay, replace match by the second argument. Okay, that's it. We don't need the rest of the thing. Okay, so that's our function. Very simple. We shorten the code a lot. Okay, so Then now the highlighting part, now we need to highlight it, remember? Now the highlight part will be, let's copy it here. Okay, while here is the highlighting part. Okay, now we want to highlight and what position. So end position will be point, the beginning position will be the length of the character exactly. So the length of character, it will be we need to length of these. Okay, so length that. Okay, that should work. Okay, so that should work. Actually, that will work. So you see, if reverse direction is true, then do something here. We haven't coded yet. Otherwise, do this part. Now we don't need that program thing, so let's remove that program thing. Okay. Now our code will work if the direction is not changed. Let's just eval the buffer. Let's just test it. Okay. Let's move. Let's call it. Call it. No, it didn't work. What's the problem? Close. Wait. I don't know what's going on. It's a huge chunk of code. xah-html-escape-char-to-entity. Do it. Nothing happened. Select it, call it again, nothing happened. So we have some problems in our code. So let's double check. So we got the find replace map correct, I hope. Yes, that is correct. But nothing happened. Okay, save restriction. Anything guys? Try it first. Yeah. So Capucine says, hi, why you use array of arrays, array of list? I don't like lists. Okay, so there is a, in my opinion, there's a huge misconception in the Lisp community. You know, in Lisp, it's a tradition to always use list, but oftentimes it's not efficient. Okay, basically, if you do not need to change the length of the list, don't use the list. That's kind of a simple rule. In our case, it doesn't matter. In our case, a list is probably faster, but I'm a maverick. That is why I use array. Basically, that is true. If you are not changing the length of the list, then just use an array. That's a good rule of thumb. That's what I do anyway. It doesn't matter here. We could use a list. In fact, if we use a list, it's more conventional. So anyway, we have a bug here. Okay, we need to find out what's going on. Lambda. So while search for word array, the first part. Okay, now if it's found, then you replace match, right? Okay. Yeah, you do that. Then you overlay. So what is wrong in our problem? What is wrong in our code. I don't know. I'm kind of getting tired. I don't know, but let's do a let. Okay, let's do a let to simplify this. Let, we have two okay, we give it two temp variables, find string and replace string. Okay, so that will make the code kind of simpler to read instead of this array thing. Okay, so let's right. Okay, that's a code. Now let's prettify. Okay, prettify. That's so we got find string and replace string. Do some print debugging maybe? Yeah, we should do, but I was hoping we could I was hoping I can find out what's the problem. I'm pretty sure I can. You know, we probably missed something simple. Let's look at the whole thing again. So set q this map, find replace map, we can actually this is a vector, right? Yeah, that's a vector, no doubt about it. So we can clean up the code by just putting it here. Okay, and let's shrink it, let's make it okay. So find replace map. Okay, and find replace map, that's right. So when current prefix arg, okay, this part we don't care yet. So reverse direction is nil, search for it, occur 3 times, that's right. Okay, then do we have our region correct? Use region. Region is correct, no doubt. Okay, do we have some kind of mismatched bracket? No, it seems right. Okay, then we save restriction, then we narrow to region, that's right. If reverse direction, then do something. If reverse direction is true, then do that. Else it's false, then we do this, that's right. So so we are mapping to, so we map, the first argument is the lambda, the second argument is the this map. Okay, I don't know what's going on, so let's do the messages. Let's print the find string. Okay, so every time it goes through the go through the find replace map, you'll print the, okay, split the buffer, go to the message buffer. So at bottom is the message buffer. We'll see if when we call the command, we'll see it prints out things. So let's call the command, call it, do it. Okay, symbols value as a variable is void xpair. Okay, so I probably have some misspellings here. Yeah, we have a misspelling. Where is xpair? Wait, X pair should be part of lambda. Oh yeah, so that's right. So this let is incorrect. Okay, so let's do this. The let should be inside map. Okay, well inside the find, inside the lambda. Okay, so it's like that. Like that. So now we have the let part inside the lambda. Okay, eval buffer. Let's do it again. Call the command, do it. Okay, so you can see it prints that ampersand and less than sign and greater than sign. So the find string is correct. Let's. So why is it not working? Search for word find string. Oh, we forgot to go to the beginning of buffer. That's idiotic. That's why we forgot to go to the beginning of buffer. Right. So go to char point min. Okay. Eval buffer. Go back to the HTML and let's try it. Do it. It worked. No, there is no destruction in emacs lisp. Okay, so close the buffer, reopen it again, magnify. Let's work on this part. Okay, this part. Let's call the command, do it. The highlighting is incorrect. Can you see that? The highlighting is incorrect. Because it highlighted the 5 and 2 for some reason. So in emacs lisp you can call unhighlight. No, there is no unhighlight region. Unhighlight rejects. Okay, what the fuck? Just close it. Close it, reopen it, and magnify. So anyway, the highlight is incorrect. So let's find out what's going on. So go to the beginning position of buffer. Yeah, there's remove overlay, but I don't think. Well, yeah, but I don't think there's a command for user to do that. You can do it in emacs lisp anyway, but that's getting advanced. You know, I'm trying to. A lot of people don't know what we are doing, but we are getting too complex. Just move backward, forward. What do you mean? Anyway, so we gotta finish this. So what's going on? So right now we have a problem, that is our highlighting is in the wrong position. Highlighting is in the wrong position. Oh yeah, that's because capsuting delete overlay. That might work. Let's finish this. Our highlighting is in the incorrect position. So we need to debug it. The code, you see, let me just explain what's going on. Okay, so right now the code is like that. It's much shorter than we have before. But however, the problem with now is that before, our code is very simple and very easy to debug. As a human animal, you look at this, for example, this code, you can see the repetition, you can easily understand what it's doing. But now with our code, it's highly condensed. There's a loop, and it's hard to debug, because right now it's not more difficult to debug, because before, if we have a problem, we know exactly where to check for the wrong code. Okay, so let's try to debug again. So make overlay. Basically what I need to do is to think. That means I just stay quiet and do nothing. So make overlay, and actually I'm getting tired. So make overlay. So what do you think is wrong? Any of you guys, and you will see the difference with move forward. Compare your initial code. Okay, so Iris says compare your initial code and you will see the difference with move forward. What do you mean? Okay, let's check our old code. Did we miss anything here? Let's try it again. Eval the buffer. Let's go here. Select it. Coed. Let's just say that. Okay, one single change it should be. So coed xah-html-escape-char. So that works. But however, it highlighted the whole thing. Let's do it again. Okay, so it highlighted to the end of the point. Okay, so apparently something else. So we're gonna try on this paragraph, and it seems it will highlight everything. Let's try it. No? Okay, so you can see it highlighted to the end. It highlights. Basically what's happening is that our code logic is wrong somewhere. Somewhere here. Okay, I know what's wrong. This make overlay needs to be inside the while loop. A simple silly problem. Yeah. So the overlay needs to be inside the while loop. I guess we could call this a disadvantage of this syntax. Okay, eval buffer. Now back to our code, back to our here, and test it. Yeah, it works. So we got the nesting wrong. That's right. Now let's finish it. Okay. So now if direction is true, we need to reverse the pairs. Okay. So what we can do is, okay, so let me just finish the code. Okay, let me just do it quickly. Okay. Okay, wait. So let's do this way. Okay. So here's our code, here's our map, and we're gonna change the map here. Okay, so delete that. So if reverse direction is true, if it's false, then use this map. If it's true, we want to reverse the map. Okay, so we're gonna have a little code that reverses the map here. So what we do is we can say, it's not hard, map car. Okay, map car a sequence, and then a lambda x. Okay, then wait, hold on a second. Okay, here's what we do. There. Okay, so if reverse direction is true, we reverse the map. I think that code is correct. Double check. That's what I'm doing. Double check. Oh yeah, so we got the 0 and 1. So 0 1 must be reversed. We are reversing the elements. I think that's it. Eval the buffer. Let's test it. Okay. Oh, okay. So so we press Control U for the universal argument. Control U, then meta X, then call our command. Fantastic. Successful. So that's it for today. Yeah, we could use map C reverse. That we could use that too, but I didn't use the reverse function because I'm pretty sure this is faster, and also the reverse function may not work on vector. It may actually. Let's see. Okay, reverse describe function. Okay, yeah. So so it reverses. It can work on a vector, but also what's more important is that it's in C code. So that means it's faster. So that it will be faster than my code. So when you code emacs Lisp, sometimes it's important. I mean, it's good to know whether the code is in C or in Lisp. So if it's in C, that usually means if you code this function, it will be faster than whatever you write. But if it's in Lisp, then it may not be. Whatever you write is maybe faster. So in our case, we could call reverse, but the problem is reverse returns a Okay, it returns a vector. So if the input is a vector, it returns a vector. So we could use that. Okay. Reverse x. Okay. So you see, reverse x instead of our code here. Okay, let's try to see if it works. Eval buffer, do it here. Call the command, do it, works. Control U, call the command, do it, works. Fantastic. Then we don't need that anymore. Clean up the code, clean up, yeah. So here's the code. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. If you like my tutorial, we've been doing this for long today, for 70 minutes, 80 minutes, for 90 minutes. So that's it. Yeah, so if you like my tutorial, go to XahTV Emacs tutorial and buy it, okay? You don't even need the lambda. So what are you saying? So, oh yeah, so you are right. So more more code cleanup. You don't even need the lambda. So we replace the whole by just the the apostrophe reverse. Let's try it. Okay, eval the buffer. Go back to the HTML. Call it. Do it. Right, it works. Control U, call it, do it, it works. Fantastic. Thank you guys so much. Hi Diamond. That's it for today. We are done. We already talked for 90 minutes. Bye guys.